Live the F1 dream as we take the Ferrari 430 Scuderia for a spin and take a peek at the Lexus LX 570, Kia Sorento, and the winners of the 5th Annual C Awards. Watch out for these and more, only here at C Drive. After more than 8 years of driven passion, with over 1,500 cars tested, over 2 million rewarding kilometers, in over 50 countries around the globe. C Magazine has scoured the streets to find the best of the best. Hi, I'm James Teakin, and welcome to C Drive. This is your window into the crazy world of motoring. Well, the way we see it anyway.
I'm Kevin Limholko, and whatever you missed through James's window, you're going to see through my rearview mirror in C Drive.
This segment is brought to you by Oris, Swiss-made watches since 1904, Ayala Land Premier, BPI Family Savings Bank, Michelin Philippines, and Nissan Motor Philippines. Now for Front Seat, the motoring news. C Drive joined the rest of the motoring world for the 5th Annual C Awards held at One Esplanade to recognize the stars and the trailblazers of the auto industry of 2008. Out of the 26 awards, Lexus bagged 4 of them, while Hyundai and Subaru both walked away with 3 apiece. C Awards also bestowed the very first Pocholo Ramirez Achievement Award, named after the legendary Filipino racer. It was awarded to the highly respected Lexus Philippines President, Mr. Danny Isla. The event was well attended by the media and the movers and the shakers of the auto industry, who also walked away with some premium raffle prizes, courtesy of C Magazine and their sponsors. After the awards night, guests enjoyed overflowing food and drinks while admiring a plethora of cars on display. And they stayed well until past midnight for the red party that followed after. This segment is brought to you by Michelin Philippines, Motolite, and Nissan Motor Philippines. What a truly fantastic event that was. Glitzy, glamorous, and the best part of all, it was half the time of last year. That's only because we didn't let Kevin talk.
Oh, thanks, buddy.
No problem at all. What did you think of that event? Huh? Great?
It was fantastic, buddy. Really, I was so happy to be there and so happy to see you.
Of course, and you know what? Some big winners of the night.
Lexus swept every category they were on, 4 categories, and they won every one of them.
You know what? There's only one catch with that.
What's that?
We gotta grill the guy.
Absolutely. Grill, 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 grill.
Here we go. Carlo from Lexus. 4 nominations, 4 awards, a brand new brand. Only one question for you.
Yes.
What took you so long?
Well, we all know that Lexus is a very obsessive-compulsive brand, so you can't just put up a sign, bring some cars in, and start selling cars.
Why
You
not?
did it.
I do it. I do it all the time.
Well, what we had to do was we had to make sure that the cars were fit for the environment they'd be in. So we had to make sure the suspension was okay for our roads and our roads, and we had to make sure that the air conditioning could take the heat. Plus that that's very humid in our country. So what we had to do was we had to make sure that the seals would stay sealed and all those little things that just push the development process a little bit too long.
And then, of course, there's the ownership experience. I mean, you don't want to spend that much money on a car and then just not get the thrills or the lifestyle surrounding it.
Yeah, that's what we saw with the gray market. Because with the gray market, what we realized was a lot of cars were selling, a lot of Lexus cars were selling, But some people felt shortchanged because they weren't getting the complete Lexus experience. Because as you know, the Lexus experience is very personal and it's very unique to Lexus. The customer service, the buying process, everything.
Yeah.
If you've seen our showroom, it's one of a kind. It's world
I
class.
It is
understand.
beautiful.
It's
Thank
like
you.
getting the Happy Meal and not getting the toy. I would feel shortchanged too. Now, is this your top of the line car? It's certainly your biggest.
Actually, no. The LX570 is our biggest SUV, but the top of the line model we have, our flagship model is the LS460L.
Oh, this is the one with the 4
It's
seats.
fantastic. You can get it with, with the massager, and
Yes.
you can get it in 2+2
Yeah, you can
or
get
as
it
a
either
5-seater, right?
a 5-seater or a 2+2, the 4-seater.
Right.
The 4-seater has the massaging seat, the leg rest, the DVD player, the chiller.
Wow.
All those
There's
little
actually a
things.
model above that has an actual masseuse.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I come with the
Fantastic.
car.
You come with the car.
No,
I don't know
There's the
about
leg
that,
room.
buddy. I don't know.
All right,
yeah.
so what else have you got in the lineup? You got the IS, that one as well.
Yes, the IS301, it's our entry level. We just recently launched actually the ISC, which is the convertible version of that car.
And the
Exactly.
GS 460.
That's one of my favorite cars. I mean, for the price, you get a V8 engine, you get an 8-speed automatic gearbox, you have a very stable and nice suspension. It's a fantastic car.
Is Lexus the only brand that has the 8-speed?
Yes, Lexus is the only brand in the world that has the 8-speed as of now.
And it's a really remarkable gearbox. We tried it, remember the ISF?
yeah.
That was a
That was a
really
lot of fun.
You got a gear for every possible situation. It's like the mountain bike of cars. Say you got 30 seconds to sell the brand to somebody who doesn't know you. What would you say?
Okay, Lexus is more than just buying a great car. Lexus is buying into the whole brand. And behind our brand, we have the relentless pursuit of perfection to follow. So, at the end of the day, we have the unpleasant pleasure of beating one of the best brands in the world. That means that we at Lexus have to be better than Lexus.
He's good.
Really good.
This segment is brought to you by M. Lulier Financial Services and Mazda.
The premium SUV of the year is a Lexus LX570, which won against the perennial favorite, BMW X5, Audi Q7.
This has got to be one of the tougher segments because, you know, there's just so much happening here and each one offers terrific value for money as well as a lot of luxury. The BMW X5 has always been king of the hill, but I think overall it's probably the extra space, the 19-speaker Mark Levinson sound system, and just the fit and finish and quality of the Lexus that probably took it. What do you think?
I'll always still have a soft spot for the BMW X5. It seems to be able to do everything so well. And it's so focused on the driver. Oh boy, the Lexus is fantastic though. Can't complain.
Only the keenest of observers will notice that there is an all-new category with a premium compact SUV. In the end, it didn't matter because the winner was the Mercedes-Benz GLK against BMW X3 2.5 SI, Land Rover Freelander 2 Turbo Diesel.
This is a very exciting category, but their vehicles didn't actually make it. The Audi Q5 and the Lexus RX 350. And the BMW X3 is going through a whole new metamorphosis very soon.
And let's not forget that the Volvo XC60 was also introduced right on the cusp. Now with city safety as a standard feature, it's going to make next year very, very interesting.
The Porsche Cayenne GTS was able to defend this year for its premium super SUV category against some serious machines. BMW X6 xDrive 50i, Range Rover Sport.
Now, it's a real shame, in a way, that the awards were held at the time it was, because when we got to drive the X6M, when it was just released, and put over 2,000 miles on it, it could have ended up completely different.
Absolutely, James. With 555 horsepower, the X6M would have decimated the Cayenne GTS. But, as it stands, the Cayenne GTS holds it one more time.
This segment is brought to you by M. Lulier Financial Services and Mazda. Up next on Sea Drive, we take you to a crazy road trip around Leyte as we drive alongside gorgeous cars of Cebu's performance and classic enthusiasts. This is your only ticket to the highly exclusive nautical run, so don't miss it.
Oris, official watch partner of the AT&T Williams team. The experts drive high-tech Williams and wear high-mech Oris. Stylish, strong, powerful. Oris, Swiss-made watches since 1904.
This segment is brought to you by Ford Philippines and Honda Cars Philippines.
Well, they say bigger is better, and in the full-size SUV category, it doesn't get any bigger than the Ford Expedition EL. That's the long-wheel version. And it was up against Chevrolet Suburban, the all-new Toyota Land Cruiser V8, Isuzu Altera.
There was really no surprise that the Ford Expedition EL was able to defend this year, not just because of its extra space, but because it got a really big upgrade inside and out. It's a lot quieter, it's more fuel efficient, and it's just a much better Expedition.
Yes, because if it was any bigger, they'd have to put a garden outside with a little letterbox, of course, there. But it's great for those out-of-town trips, I have to admit.
And now for the cars that can barely fit in, the mini compacts. And this year, the newcomer, the Hyundai i10 1.6 GLS, won it against the Cherry QQ3, Kia Picanto.
Now, what's really hard about this segment is every single peso is measured feature for feature, value for value. It gets very, very sticky and very, very tough because a sale could be won and lost over, well, a set of floor mats. It's that close. And the i10 just edged out because of the overall quality of the car. It really is well built for such a small car.
The Hyundai i10, I agree, James, is the best in this category, with just so much going for it. Fantastic value for money, very comfortable, very safe.
Well, the daggers started to come out in the subcompact category because this is where all the heavy hitters started to come out. But in the end, Honda Jazz 1.5 i-VTEC took the cake against its twin, the Honda City 1.5i VTEC. Toyota Vios 1.5G automatic transmission. Suzuki Swift 1.5 manual transmission.
Some key notes here. The Suzuki Swift was actually last year's winner. The Toyota Vios was voted as the Consumer Choice of the Year, meaning the best overall car for the country. And the most formidable competition of the Honda Jazz is its own brother, the Honda City. Go figure.
As we said, we brought out the heavy hitters in this segment. Now, while the Honda Jazz eventually won, the real winner here is you.
The compact car of the year is a Ford Focus TDCi Power Shift, which won against the Toyota Corolla Altis 2-liter, the Mitsubishi Lancer EX 2-liter GTA.
Last year, it was already pretty good because the Ford Focus was right up there. What it did lack, however, was that option of an automatic transmission. Well, what they did was one better. They put in the dual clutch transmission, and for me, I think that's what sealed the deal for them.
This is a very exciting class with a car that seems to be made for everybody. Now, the Toyota Corolla is a fantastic car, very solid, very dependable. The Lancer has a lot of features going for it. The Focus is just better.
This segment is brought to you by Ford Philippines.
In the Queen City of the South lives a group of young and young at heart car enthusiasts who share one common bond, the love of country and the love of cars. They call themselves the Performance and Car Enthusiasts, or more appropriately, PACE.
Now, what makes PACE very special is that members and their guests frequently drive their modern and classic performance cars the way they were meant to be driven, from island to island.
We were fortunate enough to be invited out by this group of car enthusiasts to tour the countryside, Leyte, the majestic province of the former First Lady, and we got to see it through the windows of some of the most special and beautiful cars on earth. Let me tell you, it doesn't get any better than this. Welcome to the Philippine premiere of the nautical run of PACE.
This segment is brought to you by M. Lulier Financial Services, Mazda, Nissan Motor Philippines, and Yokohama Tire Sales Philippines. There's only one thing more beautiful than this great country of ours. It's seeing it through the windows of an equally beautiful car. Welcome to the PACE Nautical Runs, where life is lived one corner at a time. The idea was basically started by a group of performance car enthusiasts who just wanted to do what the cars were, well, born to do, and that's to run and run hard. These are basically normal guys. The only exception is once they get behind the wheels of their mean machines, they turn into weekend warriors, ambassadors of speed, performance, and of course, local tourism. The run begins like, well, any other car club really. A meetup in a gas station and a convoy until you get to your destination. The difference here is we're using the nautical highways. Yep, it's gonna take more than just a large body of water to separate these guys from exploring the country. Although judging by the expression on people's faces, it seems that, well, the locals are the ones doing all the sightseeing. It's not often you get to see such exotic cars all in one location, especially when it's on a boat. But when you're talking about a bunch of guys who have a spirit of adventure that's so strong you could mix it with Coke and serve it with a lemon wedge, well, you're bound to see them in your neck of the woods very soon. This time we're off to Leyte to explore the home of the former First Lady Imelda Marcos and all the secrets that this place has to offer. We really do want to keep a low profile, but I guess that was a little bit too much to ask. One of the more surprising things about the provinces is, well, aside from the glorious roads that they do have, you also get to experience even more glorious hospitality. As if it wasn't enough already that we get to spend a glorious lunch here, we were hosted by the folks of the Pasar Corporation. Great food and even greater company. And for the locals, it was dinner and the show, as they feasted their eyes on some of the most exotic and gorgeous cars you're ever going to see gathered in one place under this tropical sun of ours. Funny thing about these types of runs are, well, you really can't spend a great deal of time hanging around because it's all about the open road and the sights that unfold before your very eyes. So even before we have time to digest, it's back in the cars, strapped in, foot to the floor fun, to get to see some more of this beautiful country of ours. Like the unbelievable San Juanico Bridge, a marvel of engineering. This is something that could hold its own anywhere around the world. Anything more exciting than seeing these beautiful sights, it's hearing the angry roar of these sports cars as they blast through and enjoy the landscape. It's the kind of thing you could do all day and all night. Only stopping when the cars get thirsty. And boy, do they drink a lot. One of the strange things about traveling in a convoy of cars like this is you feel like you're in a traveling circus. Everywhere you go, it just attracts attention. You actually bring traffic to a standstill. These are the kind of cars that just put smiles on people's faces, but none wider than the owners, of course, who get to enjoy them mile after mile, smile after smile. From the classic Corvette, which is the original American Idol, to the Lotus Elise, and of course, the 911. There are no trophy cars here.
Each car has to pay its dues before it becomes a member of the Pace Club. After almost 12 hours of non-stop driving, we finally hit our destination. And nothing glues a great story together quite like good food, good wine, and great company. And there's plenty of that to go around. After the obligatory photos, it was off to some more sightseeing, of course, including the famous MacArthur Landing. But once again, it was the parking that was getting all the attention. Sorry, MacArthur. It seemed that no matter where we went, from Tacloban to far-flung places like Ormoc City, we seemed to draw more attention than those guys who sang that song Nova. Beauty is, of course, universal, and who doesn't love a stunning car? These are cars that'll drag you out of bed in the middle of the night just to go for a long drive somewhere. These are cars that can set your heart racing, your pulse beating furiously. These are cars that will just drag that little boy straight out of you and make you feel 8 years old all over again. These are not just normal cars. These are cars that will just, well, make you just get down and boogie, I guess. After several hundred kilometers of glorious roads and wide open oceans, it was time to bring the trip to a close in the beautiful city of Ormoc, right by the ocean. The sun may have started to set on this wonderful adventure, but the memories will remain forever. This segment is brought to you by Oris, Swiss-made watches since 1904, Ayala Land Premier, BPI Family Savings Bank, M. Lulier Financial Services, and Mazda.
While we would all love to drive those exotic sports cars around our beautiful islands, it is hardly the ticket to taking the kids to school in every day. Coming up, we take you for a spin around Seoul in the all-new Kia Sorento.
Oris, official watch partner of the AT&T Williams team. The experts drive high-tech Williams and wear high-mech Oris. Stylish, strong, powerful. Oris, Swiss-made watches since 1904.
This segment is brought to you by Oris, Swiss-made watches since 1904, Ayala Land Premier, BPI Family Savings Bank, and Kia Motors.
In the past few years, Kia has completely reinvented itself, creating some of the most desirable cars on the road today.
Well, if there's one thing that Kia has developed over the years, it's the power to surprise. And they did exactly that during the global launch of the all-new Kia Sorento over in Seoul, South Korea.
Watch out for this and more, only in Counterflow.
It was just after 5:30 and I've arrived in Seoul after I can't even begin to count how many hours, how many time zones, how many airports.
All I do know is I had been through 4 different countries in less than 24 hours, and there was still a full day of work up ahead. I'm too tired to even move my lips while I speak, which is why I have to think my way through this entire video clip. Alright, maybe not the entire video clip, but at least the ride from the airport to the hotel. I'm here for the international media launch of the all-new Kia Sorento, and I arrived just as the sun was beginning to rise over the 5th largest city on Earth. With a population of over 11 million people, Seoul has become somewhat of a hub for the automotive industry. Now, I know Korean cars have a stigma of inferior quality, but if you go to South Korea and you see this infrastructure, the bridges, the buildings, the massive sprawling city, not to mention the fact that they are the largest shipbuilders on Earth, you realize that cars are pretty much a drop in the ocean for them. And it wouldn't be long before they start going wheel to wheel with their Japanese counterparts. The city of Seoul is sprawling. It seemed like endless buildings just flying past me for the whole hour's drive all the way through to the hotel. I was staying in the Sheraton Wakefield. Now, I know that's not how you pronounce it, but I'm not Korean, so I'm forgiven, all right? It's a very nice hotel, but very business-oriented, although it does have a pretty big casino. I checked in and barely had enough time to just get into my room, drop my bags off, freshen up, and head downstairs for the main event. This is the all-new Kia Sorento. The only thing that's been carried over from the previous model is, well, the name. And we were about to take it for a 400-kilometer test drive through the streets of Seoul. Funny thing is, it took me more than 24 hours to get here and less than 5 minutes before Deaconitis struck.
Basically, we're lost in Seoul. You know what technically that is? That's soul searching. I'm in the country for what, an hour?
Now, I've been in some cars with very advanced navigation systems, but none as advanced as this. Before we knew it, this guy pops out. It's Chut from Kia. We didn't even know he was there. But we were glad that he was, because there's finally a light at the end of the tunnel. And before we knew it, Dong Magsao from the Philippine Star, who was my partner, and I were on our way to enjoying the all-new Kia Sorento.
Would you come if I asked you to ride with me on this one-way road? At least I don't know, but I will take you.
Now, you gotta admit, this is one sharp-looking SUV. From some angles, it looks like the Acura MDX, and it carries those clean lines all the way through to the back. It looks absolutely nothing like the outgoing model, and boy, it doesn't drive like it either. I actually had no problem with the outgoing model, but I did feel that it was just one generation shy of being truly great. Well, that generation has arrived. The all-new Sorento comes fully loaded. We're told it will land in Manila at about 1.7 million or roughly thereabouts. It's got a great interior, very well made, a good sound system, electronic all-wheel drive, iPod connectivity, steering wheel controls for volume and cruise control, plus a start-stop button. It was designed for the Americans by Europeans, which means it should also appeal to the Asians. Now, if we thought we were lost, check this place out. It can't get any more lost than this. This is a little bit of France right in the heart of Seoul, complete with French music piped throughout the entire place. It's a resort, and you can stay here. I wouldn't know why, but you can. As impressive as the structure was, though, I didn't fly 7,000 miles just to end up where I just came from. No, sir. I wanted something a bit more local, something more Korean. Meet the all-new Sorento Coupe, a two-door, 2-liter sports car that Kia plan on bringing into the Philippines for around $1 million, which means it should really take off. When was the last time you saw a Kia that looked this good? But just like your mother told you, looks are not everything, and I bet you want to know, how does this car drive? Well, you're just going to have to pick up a copy of the September issue of C Magazine to find out, won't you? If Kia can really bring this car in at around $1 million, they should have a real hit on their hands. Here's a sneak peek of what you get for your cash. This segment is brought to you by Asian Car Makers Corporation BMW and Rota. This segment is brought to you by Honda Cars Philippines, Yokohama Tire Sales Philippines, and Neckset.
For those looking for just a little bit more out of their compact car, you may want to take a closer look at the premium compact car of the year, which is the highly enthusiastic and energetic Subaru Impreza WRX hatchback version. Now, it was up against the Europeans, the Volvo C30 2.4i, BMW 120D.
Now, James, this may be dissimilar when you put them all together, but what is similar is pricing and the buyer.
And at the end of the day, you're also getting all-wheel drive with the Subaru. Plus, who wants to argue with 230 brake horsepower for under $2 million? So you finally got that big promotion. Well, you're gonna need the wheels to match. You may want to get your pencils out and circle the executive car of the year, which happens to be the Honda Accord 3.5 SB. Up against the Toyota Camry 3.5Q. Hyundai Azera 3.3 GLS. Any surprises there for you, Kevin?
Actually, no, James, because it's a really tight squeeze between the Camry and the Accord. The real difference? The Camry, you ride to the office, and the Accord, you drive to the office.
So that pretty much sums it up. What's your priority? Which one do you prefer?
You hit your sales targets, and you got your bonus. Now you got all that money to spend. So what do you spend it on? How about the premium sedan of the year, which is a Lexus IS300, which went up against the Mercedes-Benz C200K, Audi A4 2.0 TDI.
It takes a pretty big set of ball bearings to go up against people like Mercedes and Audi, but the Lexus IS kind of just trumped over only because it offers a little bit more for just a little bit less cash. Plus, of course, it's got that refinement and that brand new dealership. That makes a hell of a difference.
3 outstanding cars, but the Lexus IS300 has more standard equipment, more horsepower, and fun of rear-wheel drive.
So you either own a bank or you've robbed a bank. Either way, you gotta drive something different to everyone else. These are the top 3 in the premium executive sedan, but only one takes the cake, and that's the Lexus GS 460. Up against the Hyundai Genesis V6, Jaguar XF 4.2 V8.
Lexus has done it again, and the GS 460 really deserves it. It can hit 280 kilometers an hour. It's a true sports sedan. It's got a lot of luxury to boot as well. It is fantastic. Incredible drive.
Absolutely, and the Hyundai Genesis actually has a lot going for it. So many features, so many things to brag about. But at the end of the day, in this stratosphere of cars, you're looking more at heritage and prestige. And I think that's where Lexus's 10 years of investing in the brand has paid off. Finally, go behind the scenes of C Drive as we eat our way through the Italian countryside and get a load of high-octane action as we make the Ferrari 430 Scuderia scream on the legendary Fiorano circuit. Next, when C Drive returns.
Oris, official watch partner of the AT&T Williams team. The experts drive high-tech Williams and wear high-mech Oris. Stylish, strong, powerful. Oris, Swiss-made watches since 1904.
This segment is brought to you by Neckset.
So you're chairman of the board. Stocks have gone up. It's time to make a different type of statement. What better way than the premium car of the year, which in this case is the Lexus LS 460L. Up against some stiff competition from the Germans, Mercedes-Benz S350, BMW 730 LD.
Wow. Against the benchmarks of luxury, the BMW and the Mercedes. But the real difference here is that the Lexus comes with a V8 at the same price.
There's also the argument about the brand. If you're going to spend this kind of money on a car, well, you're going to be expecting to see that star in front of you. With Lexus, the star is inside the car.
These are the cars that haunt our dreams and make us do naughty things. These are the sports cars. And this year, there's a defender. The Audi R8 4.2 V8 Quattro. And it was up against the Porsche 911 Carrera S with PDK, Porsche Cayman S PDK,
These are also the kind of cars that make good girls go bad. But you know what? At the end of it, I could argue all I like, but the R8's just got something special, and it just that big V8 engine there. Hard to explain, Kevin. What do you think?
Well, actually, it's good looking, it's easy to drive, it's actually a more comfortable sports car to drive, and it came out in Iron Man.
Enough said. What's the point of driving around a terrific sports car if nobody can actually see it's you driving it? Which is precisely why they invented the Cabriolet, or the GT. And the Cabriolet GT Car of the Year, well, when in doubt, you call 911. That's the 911 Targa PDK. Up against the BMW 335i convertible DCT. Mercedes-Benz SLK 350.
After all the fun and games, James, the whole idea is to have a sports car with a closeness to nature. And each one has their own way of executing that. The BMW and the Mercedes actually have very similar strategies with a retractable top. But the Porsche Targa is very unique. You have the glass top, right?
And being a Cabriolet slash GT segment, the Targa nails it right there in the middle. Because even with the roof up, it has the feeling of an open air Cabriolet and the rigidity of a GT.
This segment is brought to you by Asian Car Makers Corporation BMW, Brothers Burger, and Yokohama Tire Sales Philippines.
Regular readers of C Magazine already know what we do for a living and how we do it. But the problem is, they always see the finished product. Over the past few months, we've been getting a lot of mail about people who want to see what goes on behind the scenes. This time, we take you for an exclusive look on what goes on behind the story. We're going to take you overseas to Italy for part 1 of our Italian adventures, only here on Crossroads.
Hey there. Well, as promised to all of our loyal fans out there, yeah, both of you, that's right, Mom, honey, Shelly, here's the first vlog of our European tour. It's day 2 right now, and I'm getting ready to go to Maranello to test drive those Ferraris that I've been shamelessly bragging about on Facebook. So, really excited about that. Gotta look our best, of course. Day 1 went fairly smoothly.
As with all of our trips, it begins at the Ninoy Aquino International Airport in Manila, which is, as usual, chaotic. But the flight went fairly well, kind of smooth. We had to take a couple of planes and prepare for the long haul from Manila International Airport all the way through to Bologna, where there was a nice surprise waiting for us, an upgraded rent-a-car, the Alfa 159 with a free bottle of water. Okay, so it happened to be empty, but it's still the thought that counts. From there, it was time to check in.
No bed?
Yes. It's okay?
Good.
You book for 2 double rooms.
That's right.
Give you 1 double room with 1 large bed for both.
No.
Just 1 single bed for both.
No, God, no.
We believe in romance, not bromance. You know? no, brother.
Well, I had no problems at all. I checked in without a hassle, got myself a nice clean room. Very modest, of course, but I thought it would do the job. Sadly, I couldn't say the same thing for Kevin. It must be a transferred case of deaconitis, but there was another surprise in store. If you thought the free bottled water in the Alpha was special, take a look at this.
Ooh, nice. Double bed.
Hold on.
What?
Dude, those are t-shirts. Dude.
And the phone's ringing. What the? Dude,
Wait, someone's...
you gotta be kidding me.
The chick is...
Look,
Shoes. Uh-oh.
you wanna answer that phone?
Yeah. Hello? Is this the front desk? Yeah, there's someone in this room.
But it's okay. It's okay.
All right, okay, we're going down now.
No, that's still okay. Does it come with the person?
Dude,
You gotta be kidding me.
champagne, it works.
So we did what anyone would have done in a situation like this. We raided her minibar, we took the bathrobe, the towels, and the miniature little soaps. After checking in Kevin into the correct room, we decided to take a little brief tour around the city, and we were assured that the bus was the best way to get in. However, the buses didn't have exactly the same idea. So there we were, the editor-in-chief of a car magazine and the publisher of one, going back to basics. Yep, that's on foot to the city, all 4.5 kilometers of it. Now, this normally wouldn't be such a problem, except for the fact that the outskirts of Bologna are, well,